Okay, today we are going to be talking about the electric type Pokemon Electivire. Now, I love this Pokemon, I always have. I always thought he was a really cool Pokemon since he was only Electabuzz, and then we finally got his evolution in Gen 4, and since then, totally been in love with this guy, and he's super cool and useful as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at the stats. We're going to start with the defense of 67, special defense 85, speed 95, attack 125, and special attack 95. With an HP of 75. So you can definitely see he's more of an offensive speed type here. He's got a good baseline speed with a really good physical attack of 123, and that's really going to be where he shines. Now, he does have a special attack of 95, which isn't terrible, and he does have some cool coverage moves that he does get in the special attack, but for the most part, we are going to focus on that physical offensive threat. Now, with his defenses as they are, special defense isn't terrible, but that 67 is a little on the lower side for the physical defense. But the special defense can be supplemented with something like an assault vest, which we'll look at in a little bit. And the HP of 75 is kind of in the middle. It's kind of a mediocre, not great, not terrible stat. And so you definitely have some things that you can do with it, but it is going to be there at that 75, nothing too amazing. Okay, so let's go ahead and move into the abilities now. With Electivire, he has two abilities to choose from, Vital Spirit being the hidden ability, and Motor Drive. Now, Vital Spirit isn't a terrible ability. It's going to keep the Pokemon awake instead of falling asleep to things like rest, yawn, hypnosis, and so on. So he'll always be awake. You'll never have to worry about that status. However, we're going to really focus on the Motor Drive skill here because when you have Motor Drive on and you're hit by an electric type move, your speed is going to be increased by one stage, and you're not going to take any damage as well. So this is a really nice ability for an electric type Pokemon such as Electivire, because it's going to really speed him up with that base speed of 95 already, and he's going to get super fast and chunky if you're able to either predict your opponent's moves coming in or pair him with another good electric type using something like Discharge. So again, it's not a terrible ability with Vital Spirit, but if you don't have the Motor Drive, then go ahead and go with the Vital Spirit. And/or if you feel like it's just not going to fit your playstyle, then go ahead and use it. It's not bad, but Motor Drive is definitely where we're going to be looking at in this video. Okay, let's go ahead and cover his resistances. He does have a few resistances here. Flying, Steel, and Electric are all going to be cut in half. A decent amount of Flyer. Steel is always a big threat, especially with things like Metagross running around. And there are a good amount of Electric-type Pokemon and moves being used as well. So these are some really good resistances that this guy has that can really play into his strengths. Sadly, he doesn't have any more than the 3. If he had 4, 5, or 6, that would be really ideal. But 3 isn't terribly bad, especially considering his weaknesses. Now, Electivire does have ideal amount of weaknesses. He only has the 1, and this is going to be a ground weakness, and he's going to be 2 times weak against ground Pokemon. So it's not a 4x weakness, it's only a 2x weakness. It's not bad, and it's only one typing that's really going to affect him. Now, there are some big heavy hitters out there in the ground typings that are a threat to this Pokemon, so keep that in mind. I mean, a Mudsdale is definitely going to hurt him, a Landorus is going to hurt him, and so on and so forth. And anything that predominantly uses a ground type attack like Stomping Tantrum or Earthquake is going to be a threat, but he only has that 1 to really look at. If you're finding this video helpful at all or you're liking it, please drop a like and subscribe. Also, guys, feel free to come over and visit us at the Twitch channel anytime you'd like. We do a lot of battles, raids, and trades every day, mostly Pokemon content as well as on Pokemon Go. You'll find the links down below in the description. Other than that, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of this video. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this first moveset that we have for Electivire here, and we are going to put 252 into attack, so we're going to maximize that attack stat that he has. 8 into speed, just to give him a little extra there, and 248 into defense. So he's going to be able to outspeed some things in his speed class, assuming they don't have speed put into it, and we're going to make him a little bit bulkier with the 248. Now, as far as the moveset, we are going to be looking at Cross Chop, Thunder Punch, Rock Slide, and Stomping Tantrum. Now, this is a good set because this is going to give you a lot of coverage across the board with a lot of different moves, which is one of the things that Electivire is really good at. He has a good coverage setup. So with Cross Chop, obviously there's a lot of things that are going to be weak to Fighting type that are in play right now. Thunder Punch, always good, especially with things like Tapu Fini running around. Rock Slide with the flinching is definitely a meta move that you want to use. And Stomping Tantrum, always good to have a ground type with you as well. Now, if we move down to the ability item in nature, we are going to have his Motor Drive ability, of course, and we are going to go either Jolly or Adamant. Now, this really depends on what you want to do here. It doesn't really make too much of a difference either way. If you want a little bit more speed or if you want a little bit more damage, I usually go for the damage out here, but neither one is incorrect, and you can do good with both. As far as the item, there's a lot of different things that actually Electivire can really utilize to his advantage. Life Orb, Choice Band, Expert Belt are just a few of those. Now, Life Orb does work on him, however, I'd probably recommend keeping that for another offensive type that you have in your party, something that's either really high special, really high physical, that has a good speed stat to back it up, that's going to really be the carry on your team here. So I would either go with something like a Choice Band or an Expert Belt with this set. Expert Belt is nice because you do have a lot of coverage type moves here, so you can actually do good additional damage with super effective attacks, but with the Choice Band, he does hit like a truck, so keep that in mind as well. Okay, so this next set is going to be a little less bulky. Instead of working on that defense, we're going to kind of flip it and go with the speed on this one. So still doing the 252 into attack, want to make him hit really hard, but we are going to put the 252 into speed on this one here and make him pretty much as fast as we can. And then we'll just toss the additional into defense on this. You can do whatever you like with it, but we did put the additional 4 EVs into defense here. The moveset is pretty much the same thing, except we did substitute Wild Charge in instead of Stomping Tantrum. So we've got 2 different stab moves on him here with Thunder Punch and Wild Charge. Wild Charge, of course, is going to give you a little bit of recoil damage if it hits, but it does hit super hard. And being a stab attack, that is going to be really nice for him. And since we are going super fast and super heavy on the attack, this is a pretty good attack to have on here so that he can actually do a ton of damage to whatever those Pokemon are on your enemy's line. Still going to be rocking the fighting type move here with Cross Chop, and definitely going with Rock Slide, especially if there's some things out on the field that maybe you don't have any kind of super effective attack with your electric, or they resist your electric. Maybe you want to go with the Rock Slide, try to get some flinches on the front line, especially if you have something really heavy hitting alongside the Electivire as well. Let them do a lot of damage while maybe you get some flinches out, stop their offensive momentum, and so on. Now, with the ability item Nature, we are still going to be going with the Motor Drive. I think we're pretty much going with that the whole time here. But we are going to be doing Jolly, so we're maximizing that speed stat as much as we can in this case to get as really fast as we can. And you're going to outspeed a lot of things this way. And then in this case, we're going to be doing Choice Scarf as well. Now, you could substitute this in for some other things. If you do want to do Choice Band, go ahead and do Choice Band. If you want to do Expert Belt, do Expert Belt, whatever you want to do here. But this is kind of a Choice Scarf set, so we're really maximizing our speed, and we're going to try to outspeed everything here and really get the priority in the match. With this set here, there's very few things that are actually going to be able to outspeed this Pokemon with a Choice Scarf. Regieleki is going to be one of those, but being an electric type, that's not too much of a threat for you. But there's very few things that are actually going to be able to outspeed it at this point, so enjoy the speed priority. Okay, so the final set here, we're going to get a little tricky, have some fun with it. We're going to go HP 190, Special Defense 68, Defense 252, and we're just going to kind of mix it up, make him a little bit bulky, definitely give him a little bit of HP here, so he's going to have a little bit more bulk. And then the moveset, there's a lot you can do here, a lot of different choices for you. You could either go full-on attacks and do Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Psychic, and Flamethrower. So we're definitely gearing this more towards a special attack. Even though his special attack is lower than his physical attack, this definitely will give you access to some coverage moves that you wouldn't be using otherwise, and maybe give you a little bit more of a diversity in the battle. And things like Intimidate wouldn't affect you as well. So you've got some tricky plays here that maybe your opponent won't be expecting. Now, you could either go full-on attacks or even supplement in maybe some support or utility moves like Light Screen or Helping Hand, for example. So we've got everything from Volt Switch to Flamethrower on here. So Volt Switch, Rising Voltage, Thunderbolt, Psychic, and Flamethrower are the offensive attacks that we chose here for the special attacks. And then again, Light Screen and Helping Hand as his support moves. Now, you're not going to be able to use that. I'm going to jump to the items. You're not going to be able to use those if you do go with the AV or the Assault Vest. That isn't going to allow you to use that Light Screen or Helping Hand. Another reason why you could choose any one of those, 5 attacks up there that you could use and supplement those in instead. However, if you go with like a La Papa Berry or an Air Balloon to protect against the ground type, then you could supplement them in for the Light Screen and the Helping Hand. We are going to go with the Motor Drive again and the Bold Nature, so we're going to work on those defenses. And if you do go with the AB, he does get a really nice special defense out of this, and he can really tank a lot of attacks on the way into him. Alright guys, so Electivire has a lot of different uses that you can use him with. I really like this Pokemon, I always have. I was super excited when Electabuzz got his evolution in Gen 4, so I was really happy about that, and he's been really cool since. And I love the shiny form as well, and he definitely has some diversity and utility that he can bring to the battlefield. Right now, because of Regieleki, there's a little bit more counters to the electric typings, so just keep that in mind. Right now, I do seem to be using Magmortar a little bit more than Electivire, but I do like Electivire a lot, and he definitely brings some things to the table. Okay, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them down in the comments below. I do get back to all comments, or feel free to drop into the Twitch channel where we do a lot of streaming for Pokemon content. We're going to be doing Pokemon Snap coming up soon here, Pokemon Unite, doing Pokemon TCG Online, Booster Packs, Pogo, you name it, we're doing it. We do Pokemon all the time. But thank you so much for hanging out, guys. I really do appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, take care.